Dodge Swinger, 1973, Galaxy 500, out the way, stars green, gotta go. Dodge Swinger, 1973, top down, chassis low, panel dim, light drive, Jesus on the dashboard. T-minus whenever it feels right. Galaxy 500, planets align. A king is born. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Dodge Swinger, 1973, flaps down, chassis free. Buzz Aldrin, Armstrong, or maybe just me. Don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. Jesus on the dashboard, yeah! Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Yeah! 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 I turn on the radio! Hey kid, are you going my way? I'm bad, will never ever be a man. We'll find I saw the space mass. Let it low was the universe expand. Skyway, wherever that Saturday. By the way, shadowed in my rotary. It'll be eternity till we make it to everything. Once around the sun, cruising, climbing, Jupiter Cyclops winks at me. Yeah, he knows who's driving. Hit neutral in the tail of a comet. Let the vortex pull my weight. Push the seat back a little lower. Watch light bend in the blower. Planets align. A king is born. Dodge Swinger. Jesus on the dashboard, oh yeah! Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Are you going my way? Will ever self-feel pain? We'll find outside space crash. Halo was the universe expand. Skyway, Revelation Saturday. By the way, Saturn is my rotary. It'll be eternity till we make it to that fading thing.
Welcome one, welcome all. Get comfortable. It's time for the Freakers Ball. I'm your ever-loving blue-eyed ogre, here as usual, but here somewhat truncated and abridged, somewhat shortened. Not in the time that I'll spend with you today. I will be going on and rambling quite some time. Probably by the end of it, you'll wonder if it will ever cease. But what I mean by truncated and somewhat abridged is that my beloved co-hosts are not with me today, and unless I get prodded severely, will not be with me today. I'm taking some ogre time. I'm taking a little me time right here, right now, in real time with you, right where you're at. Coming together with you in a way that I don't do very often, but I'm doing it to indulge my inner ogre, to allow me to say whatever I want to say, however long I want to say it, whatever fashion I would like to express. I want to emote, I want to imbue a pathos. I want to have that thing that I don't get very often. I want to explain a couple things. Before I get into the little bit of news I want to talk about, I want to say that it's taken me a year to get where I'm at right now with who I'm with. Take me a year. And when I say that, I mean, I feel like it just cracked through Magic Bollocks the other day. Because at the end of, we had Coach Red Pill. We were on Coach Red Pill's channel, sorry. And I can see you all over there. We can talk. I cannot seeing my good sunglasses. I'm starting to panic. The lights are awful bright right here. But we were there on Coach Red Pill's channel, and we like to talk. I can see everything that's said. Matt Barkley's here. Jensen Quinn is here. We had, who else do we have down here? We had some great people here. Binary Surfers up in here. I saw somebody else. Oh, Skyhawk. And we'll have some other people posting in the side. And the wonderful thing about it is I can read it. I know I don't always say anything about what you're typing. It's really not my place. I am the minstrel in the gallery. And you are my patrons. You are the ones that I entertain. I don't expect your attention to be on me the entire time. I am not that egocentric. I am not that xenomorphic. I am not that self-centered. My idiosyncrasies do not align me on that type of a narcissistic mindset. It really doesn't. I'm fine with being the voice that's here speaking while you carry on a conversation there. I may be included in the conversation. I may even once in a while do something like this. RPR, I am sorry. I am so slow at getting my part of that shit. Oh, I might have done it. There we go. What? Together. There you go. And see, I might even do something like that in real time, and that's groovy. It's fun for me. I'm glad. But here, let me get back. So a year I've worked at this. I've worked at this. Faces have come and gone. There's some here even now. Matt Barkley, RPR. Captain Colepile just showed up as I'm saying this. Captain Colepile's been here since the beginning. Since the very beginning. He's seen all the changes. He's been here. Alpha Goes, another one, been here for so long. So long. So a year I've worked at this. I've wanted to get it to what it is. And I felt like I accomplished that when, I don't know, it was over the weekend. It was after we did the Coach Red Pill guest appearance where he had the whole crew on there, man. He had me and my mates up in there, man. We could take the world if we wanted to, but he had us in there and we just had a good time. But in the end, about a week later, Magic Box was saying, yeah, it was a great time. It was so much fun. I had a ball at the time of my life. There was nothing better. It was like a roller coaster. It was people watching, 200 people watching us. It was unreal. It was unfathomable. I'm psyched. I'm stoked. I'm unbelievably upbeat. I'm so happy. I can't even express how I feel at the moment. But the text was going by so fast, couldn't even see what people were saying. He said to me I was tried to explain to him that I don't do anything intentionally to grow the size of this channel. At the moment, with 1,000 subs, I am where I would like to be. I don't want to fall below 1,000 subs. Now, don't get me wrong, because then you lose some, And now if I could get large enough, I guess 100,000 would be nice, because that's like the next milestone where YouTube starts paying attention to you. But why do I want YouTube to pay attention to me? Could I possibly communicate with you? And yes, Captain Colepile was just explaining to them that you gave me a lot of the idea that I have for the show now, and that you were the first one to say, that we, and today it's only me. I doubt I'll let anyone on today. Today it's me. I am indulging myself. I'm going to spend 2 hours with you folks. It's me. But that we're the band, and that you are enjoying the ambiance, the étouffement, if you will. You're enjoying the presence of a Discord going on while you're there, but that is kind of in the background. And whereas you hear what I'm saying and you know what I'm saying and you know what we're talking about, it's not that important. The important thing is that you've got here, and Queen Bee is here. We have her I think brother. I don't know if she wants to claim him completely. No, we have Lord Quinn, my one and only, my beloved moderator for my Discord channel. Lord Quinn here. We have, dig it, little folks. Listen, there's something to be said for what's going on here. Now, if I really desperately needed to make money on this platform, let me tell y'all something. I would have done a lot of shit different from day one. From day one. I mean, no one else is here, so I'll bring it up. I've never been, anywhere in a work environment where I pulled John Thomas out. That's where everybody goes with me, so I'll go right to that. I always use like methamphetamine as an example of drugs because it's the worst. So I guess that's what people think the worst thing I did. Man, they must not have watched a lot of my stuff either around here, because I was just on Twitter. Maybe I'll share that with y'all. That's some fun with the guy. What I'm trying to do is respond to people with memes in real time. If I don't have a meme that I've already made, and now in this last one, I haven't done it yet either. In this last one, let me get this. So a year I've been working at this. I get people that I respect, like Captain Colepile, that whisper in my ear and they say, you know what? It's what you do is cool and you're okay. But what it comes down to is we have a place to come meet, and you never shut up. So there's this background music there. And I'm like, well, that's, and the more I think about it, it's like, yes, what would it be? Now, I love Lionel Nation. I can't watch his stuff anymore because I realized that once it went over 400 or 500 people, now there's usually, he even makes jokes about it and says he's not going to say much until over 2,000 are on watching live. hey man, he's really good, and he's something else at drawing a crowd. That said, I can't do what I used to do. You know, Captain Copile was the one. Now that I mentioned him 20 times, I'll just keep him for the example. He busted my balls to what I was on Lionel's jock because I kept getting him to mention me. I couldn't get him to mention me now without a super chat. There's no way in the world. And the things that I would show before were just me talking in the chat. Was no super chat involved. And don't get me wrong, super chat's cool. Again, please, if you were thinking about it today, don't super chat today. Still, I've got to fill out this tax form. I was talking to Mrs. Oger yesterday. They sent me an email finally, and I've got to fill it out. But that's neither here nor there. It's not nowhere. So a year I've been working on this, and it is finally what I love. In my heart, because I'm competitive and whatnot, I do like to see what it is now. There's 12 people watching right now. I do like it double digits. It's pretty groovy. It's cool to know that we have a very small church congregation. And that's what that is. I mean, I've actually preached at churches with 7 people there. And 2 of them were ushers, and one of them was the head elder, and one of them was the deacon. So do the math. There really wasn't that many people, although I'm not including myself, my wife, and whoever may have came to see me preach. But I preached in many places. I played music a lot. I tell you one thing, music, and let me tell you. So I've got what I wanted. I'm going to close out on. I got what I wanted. Worked a year for. I've got what I wanted. I thank you so much, folks, for being here. It's unbelievable to me and everybody that I see, especially AlphaGo and you know, Queen Bee. That's so good to see these girls. I love you, girls. I know y'all love me too. It's fine. It's the deep voice. It's the pearly white teeth and the large build and whatnot. Hey, you know, I understand. I mean, when I see a girl like you, AlphaGo, I'm sure that I feel the same way you feel about me. Doesn't mean we have to act on it. You know, we can leave those thoughts in the back of our mind, but we got to be honest with each other. I mean, you know, the animal magnetism that I exude is second to none, and it's hard for you girls to you know, deal with. I understand. I feel the same way whenever I'm confronted with an alpha female that is the apple of my eye and the very desire of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. Lord, I was trying to go on with that a little bit longer, but I lost my train of thought. I was wanting to pound it. Sometimes when you're trying to do a character, you're trying to be somebody that you're not, it comes out easy. Sometimes it doesn't. I may or may not have been lucky with girls in my life, but it wasn't from saying things like I just said. That's for damn sure. So anyway, yeah. Had this thing on Twitter today. I got to thinking about a few things. I really did. You know, and again, thank you so much. Wonderful year. I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh my goodness. So now it's 10. I've ran the other to 2 girls left because of what I said. Now it's going to go down below double digits. Go tell your friends on Twitter. Well, hell, I could tweet this shit out, right? I haven't tweeted out. Let me tweet this out to some of my enemies and see what happens. Nah, look at it. Oh man, get the chopper. Get the choppers on here on Twitter anyway. Always got some dank memes. Always got some dank cool stuff is going on. I'm gonna send him my shit. Anti-Harrow's here. Send him my shit. We were crushing this fucking person, man. Maybe they'll come by because when I'm you know, when I blocked them, insta block. I feel like I should go back and unblock this moron. I just did it to be a dick. Because they would share some of this stuff with you. You know what? I'm going to unblock them because I think that it's possible that if I don't, I'm not sure I can show you all this stuff. I really want you to see my gnarly memes that I was throwing at this person. But let me look at the thing here. Let me look. Chopper might be someone in this chat. We're just saying, might be, could be. And if it is that, if that is like a veiled saying who that is, well, that's bad to the bone. That's very cool. And you know what? To answer you, I wasn't even going to answer it too much here where I can see you, Binary Surfer, but I fucking worked my nuts off today. was already out in the woods. It's 42 degrees Fahrenheit here, though, in the Ogre's Kingdom, and there's about 8 to 15 inches of snow on the ground. Problem with that is when it starts to melt, it's very difficult to drive in when you are foolish like me and a Jew, which I am, and you buy a two-wheel drive truck in Michigan. That is, that's a mistake that I will never make again. Not even my beater wood truck, which is what I'm, and a beater wood truck, but it's pretty decent. 2003 F-150 Ford 4-door, crew cab with the 6-foot box on the back. I enjoy it. But what I did today was I filled that box up. What up, Ain't Jack? Good to see you, brother. And he's probably saying that, but in all reality of the thing. And did I see my main man? Yeah, I did. I saw Jensen Quinn up in here. We got Jensen Quinn. We got it right. So, look, as I said, we had an opening song. We're going to have a middle song. We're going to have halfway through the service song. Boy, them lights, they really do kill me. And I would like to take it as a request. If I don't get it, I'll just play one. And we're going to have an ending song. The reason why? Well, shit, man. You try to just sit down and talk for 2 hours straight. You probably can do it. Probably better than me. In fact, it's so easy to just go on and on and on and on and on and try not to have anything more than about a 3 or 4 second break in the reverberation of your vocal cords and the synchronization of your breath and considering your breath sounds and your voice patterns and what the topic is that you're talking about and who may like it, who may not, who gives a shit, who doesn't. Do you give a shit? Are you paying attention? Do you care? Is this a fucking cool meme? Is that something great that Chopper was showing me right here? I don't know. Let me show you all and we can decide together. Now, this is kind of cool. Spicy. So I'm assuming this is comparing the United States with the Middle East. So 1896, you have that looks like the horseless buggy. Oh, you have a crazed Muslim. Oh, 1903 of the Wright brothers flying over Kitty Hawk. Oh, crazed Muslim. 1961. I'm not sure who is that? Buzz Aldrin. You have one of the original astronauts, probably 13 or something, getting ready to go into space and get launched. Oh, crazed Muslim. 2014. Oh, I don't know what the hell that is anymore. It looks like some kind of killer satellite and crazed Muslim. Isn't that amazing how those things never change? Yes. Oh, and are we common sense? I don't know, man. I'm going to go on for a little bit. It's been such a hell of a last few days and everything that I have this time off. And just the other day, I opened something up that I got from Dublin, Ireland, that came to Dublin via Amsterdam for the most part. And I've got it, man. It's spring. It is spring here, close. It comes up quickly. And I'm going to plant about 50 tomato seeds, probably about 50 different various squash seeds. There's going to be cucumbers. There's going to be broccoli. Oh, there's going to be, man, my mind is spinning right now thinking about it. But I've got to get all these things planted, a lot of each one. I don't have any fancy, like they get these things, seeds going. It's like click, hit, click, hit, click. I do everything by hand. Makes sense. So by the time we would be doing the show, yeah. I mean, are we doing it? Let's do the show on your channel, Common Sense Guy, because I'll show up for the beginning, but I'll probably have to haul ass. I have to haul ass. I got to work. I mean, I've got to take care of stuff. Last year in the springtime, I started this channel. I won't lie, because of the time frame, man. Oh, I neglected a few things, and you've only got a short time. Outside broadcast, I will absolutely do that, AlphaGo. I'll set it up so that you can see my garden behind me and maybe the chicken house and some chickens running around. I'll absolutely do that. That actually, to me, sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a good time. Man, that's why I love y'all. Remind me, too, if I don't. What have I got here? I see my name a few times. Memes with the show says, Ogre, it's almost like human beings are complex creatures. You know what? Memes is what I love about you. You're always pointing that out, that you're always reminding us that when oh, when the politician du jour that I don't like is there, and I'm like, oh, look, and I'm going to mention some ones that I don't like, but you mentioned this with them, and I was like, oh, look at Maxine Waters, and look at Nancy Pelosi, and look at her, she was forgetting stuff, and you said flat out, you're like, talk to me when you're 77, fucker, and see what you forget, ogre. And yes, of course, we tend to try to hold people to a standard that not only wouldn't we be held to, but we are not able to be held to. Couldn't hold that standard if we wanted to. There's no way on earth. Not going to happen. So yeah, Common Sense Guy, if you're still around, get me on Discord and see what's up, because I'll be happy. I did say that, but I'll be honest. I give my disclaimer in the beginning. This is going to be a ramble and a stream of consciousness hangout with the ogre, some beers, and some of this, which is this is Alicia D. This is Special K, a wax from Special K, and that came from, oh, what was that? Royal Dutch Genetics, I believe, might have been Special K. So here you go. Gotta let it melt. Oh yeah, you let it melt like that. When I'm old school, I take a bud and I put down in the bowl, and then I put the wax on top of it, and then I let it melt in there, and then bam, I will use that same bud. The same bud's been in here for at least a couple days, and once it's all used up and played out, now I will take out a squishy feeling bud, and I do throw that away. I don't throw resin away, but I do throw that away. Some people wouldn't, to each their own. But man, once it's been smoked through that long, it's been a filter, and it tastes horrible. It really does taste bad. And that's coming from a guy that loves the taste of resin. That's a testament to how clean that stuff is. I took that big swat. That's the first time I muted to even have a cough. Usually, because I hear it from people all the time, like the British are, really, Mr. Ogre? Trying to tell me once again that marijuana is good for you, sir? I hear you coughing like an elderly person in old folks' home. You sound like a pensioner that's been in the asbestos yards. You know what, Brett? But sometimes when something's good for you, it can make you cough. What about expectorants? And when you use really an expectorant, sir, gonna throw that in the mix as if you're some kind of. I'm not saying I'm a doctor. All I'm saying is that sometimes you may take a medicine, and the effect of that medicine is to make something happen that feels unpleasant because, oh, now you're going into what? Homeopathy next, sir. Water it down until it's one drop in the ocean, and then it's better for you. What will be next? Alex Jones is your god? No, but Brett, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, in fact, I'm not one of these people that preaches that marijuana is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and everybody on earth should be, using pot to. But that's all I hear from you, and then now you're smoking it on air when I'm not there to bring some semblance of culture and refined gentry to your stream. But Brett, we talked about this, man. We're just going to be friends, and this might go in a different direction and be kind of more rated R. Well, Mr. Ogre, I don't think it's time to air our personal business. I'll be leaving. So, Brett, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to die on the pot hill. Thank you, Britisher. It's good to see you again, man. Mate, it's been a while, and hopefully you'll come back by the stream soon. We'll talk about it later. But, to each their own. I don't say that everybody on earth, but yes, there are some children that should be using marijuana, be it edible, sometimes vaporized, depending upon the case. Wow, you're nuts. You lost your mind. Well, you're going to give them Ritalin? That's meth. It's amphetamine. It's clinical. That's the shit that people want, that snort it, or that don't smoke it. They want the What's the other one? Oh, Ritalin's not the super strong, even though that is super strong. The other one is oh man, they used it for a weight suppressant and the appetite suppressant in the 80s and 90s. I used to call them yellow jackets, not the fake ones you get at truck stops, but the real ones that were this drug I'm trying to think of now. Well, anyway, Adderall. Yeah, that's a very, very powerful drug. I've seen musicians that would get them, and I knew this musician for years, man. He did love these speed. He'd get Ritalin, he'd get any speed he could, but the ones he liked, that's why I know this shit. And I'm not telling you that I've never done it. I'm not telling you that I've done it. So I'm not trying to say I'm an angel. I can say this. I've never procured it. Okay. I've never procured it. I've never gotten it. I've ingested things that I haven't procured also. Make the conclusion you would like. I'm not telling you that I've ever done these drugs. But he would take the ones that came in a capsule, the Adderall, and put them out of the capsule, like the gelatin capsule, and they were like little balls. He would crush those little balls. It would be like a pink powder. All right. Cocaine. Again, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but cocaine I don't think would be as powerful as that. From what I've heard, also, I'm going to be very careful here. From what I've heard, it makes you impotent, really, because it's such a thing, you know, that you go to pee the next time if you're a male, and you're like, you've got to grab it. You're trying to stretch it out of there, and you're like, wow, what the frick? And then if you ever get in a situation where you want to Humpty Dumpty, you can forget about it. Because if you are that aroused that it gets erect, then you're not going to be able to achieve orgasm. Anyway, and you give these things to kids. So why would anyone be crazy to say that there are some children that after they've been seen by a psychologist, psychiatrist, family doctor, could benefit from the use of different kind of cannabinoids. I am growing a strain right now that will be cracking soon. The seed, if the seed cracks, it'll be cracking soon. That is a CBD strain from G13 Labs called Peach Puree. Look it up right now if you care to. Type in Peach Puree G13 Labs. It's a CBD strain. It does have THC in it, though. You know, you have different kinds, you have different nuances in the plant. And again, look, I'm not going to get so far off into the weeds that all I talk about on this stream when I'm doing my own thing is just marijuana. But I will say that there's some, look, in Oregon, they have these pills at the pharmacy that you take them and you put them in water, you mix water with it, smells like pine sap, you drink it and you're dead in about a half hour, dead. And it's because euthanasia is legal there. And if you want to pass away, they charge you for the medication. That's what they call it. I don't know why. They charge you for the death serum, the hemlock. You go get it, you mix it up, you drink it, and you die. I remember Phil Hendry, the great, famous, immortal, even though he's still alive, he'll be immortal, comedian and radio personality that did the Death with Dignity. You know, he was a radio guy that called in to himself, and he look up Phil Hendry too. I don't have time to explain to you, but he was doing a show and he had somebody on that was promoting this Death with Dignity. And the idea was that, you know, when if someone gets into an accident and they're a vegetable, why then the people from Death with Dignity will come and take them to their facility. We'll give them a nice bath, make sure they're very clean. Put on a Depends diaper in case there's any kind of defecation or urination, and then gently, you know, wheel them out to the reflection pond in the middle of the compound there at Death with Dignity. And then just, you know, a trained professional would come up from behind where the vegetable wouldn't even be able to see it, and just take maybe a 45 and gently place it behind the ear and blow the brains out. Never know what happened. And you know, he did a whole show that way. Of course, the guy that was his guest was him, and about 90% of the callers were him also. The funny thing is the other 10% of the callers that he let go on for the longest amount of time were not him, that thought it was real. And there's something to be said, not for wheeling someone out and blowing their brains out by a reflection pond. Of course, that's a little crazy, right? It's a little extreme. Hey, what's it sound like on the audio? I'm going to crank it. Is that bad? Is that worse? I want it to be loud enough to where I can just, kick back and relax. No popping sounds, but I can also kick back. If I don't move the chair, you won't hear chair sounds. I do like this Yeti, Blue Yeti, but it's very, very sensitive, and it's not mobile like the one you're used to seeing me use, which is this. Also blue. It's the same company. That's a blue Snowball. Not Snowball Ice, blue Snowball. And this is a Yeti. And this is the basic Yeti. It's not a black label, blackout, something edition. Because once I looked into it, it's all the same insides. They're talking about putting different outsides on it, charging you more money. I've never been into falling for that. Oh, I don't know. Sounds good, he says, but it don't matter. And so what I'll do is I don't want to have it completely cranked. I just turn it back down to there. We'll see what happens. It does have 4 settings on it too. I'm not going to focus on the Yeti right now. If you could hear my rooster, press 1. I was hoping he'd do it again. Okay, if you could hear that, if you could hear that, press 1. That would tell me the microphone is definitely picking up pretty well. And you know what? It's springtime is coming. It seems that we're in the depths of an infinite ice chest right now. When I look out on my back acre, looks like it is too. It's just frozen over and ice and snow. But it won't be long, man. Won't be long. The flowers will be poking their heads up. The new blades of grass will be coming up. The weeds will be coming up. The crops that Mrs. Ogre and I plant will be coming up. It's just so wonderful, the transformations here. And yes, the cold, man, I got some, man, my right hand has been through hell. This hand right here has been through hell. And it hurts sometimes. I mean, from the change of weather from one to the other, but not too bad. It's not too bad. There's probably some places on Earth, like the desert Southwest. In fact, there's places in the United States where I could live and I'd never have any problem with joint pain, But who wants to live in a place where it's one perpetual brown, unchanging nothing? That the once every 5 or 6 years that you actually do get an ice storm or a snowstorm, and it happens. I was in El Paso, Texas. Left El Paso heading east on Highway 20. And was just getting settled for a long drive. And I pulled over to fuel up my truck. And because I didn't pay attention to the weather report at all that day, man. I was getting unloaded, sleeping. Get pulled over, night's coming. I'm ready for a long, nice desert ride across the desert in the middle of the night, man, with some other brother truckers on the CB. It can be fun, man. It can be a good time. Out there looking for adventure. And pulled over to fuel up. My CB starts beeping, my weather band. And then, yeah, man, turn it on. Ice storm coming. I never ended up leaving that truck stop that night and pointed to face into the east so I could watch that ice storm come in. The next day when I took off, because as soon as the sun hit the pavement, it melted the ice. The ice was gone. It was still in the desert, but the blacktop, man, it melted quick. Man, the tracks going out. There were trucks off the highway 100 yards. I'm not even shitting, folks. It's so flat out there. 100 yards, sometimes probably further. I just don't want to exaggerate. 125, 150 yards at the furthest. Still standing up, straight up and down. You can see where they just right through the ice and never stopped, didn't stop until it just come to a skidding halt. That's the one rule. You don't drive an 18-wheeler loaded or unloaded in ice. Anything else, give her a shot. Not ice. Glare ice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's ice. I can't say that enough. Oh, yeah, but I'll never forget that. Driving from because Toya, Texas is east, about 250 miles, 300 miles east of El Paso, and they make the best chili rellenos on earth. I've been there in about 9, 10 years, but I bet that the post office, bar, barbershop, and restaurant, all one building, and it's not even as big as my house, is still there. And even if the man that made them then is gone, they probably finally got the recipe out of him. I asked him one time, I was like, what's the crust on this? What is the, and he just looked at me, he was like, and then, I took a bite, man, and the cheesy, oh, it's so hard to describe the inside of those chili rellenos. There's like pieces of chili, pieces of meat, and cheese in a saucy, it's a white saucy yum. And when I was like, what is that? He said, and I said, well, how do you make that? It's the binder. I'm trying to figure out what to call it. I said, the binder that's in this, the filling. And he said, dos manos. In other words, I make it with 2 hands. Would not even, finally, when I got him to open up, he just laughed. He came from Pecos and moved to Toya because he worked for a company and he was the man that he made them. He did the recipe. No one knew. He never told anyone I don't remember. He said his grandfather's recipe. Never told anybody though. And when it came right down to it, man, he's like, because they were shipping these chili rellenos from Pecos all over the United States, and they still do from Toya. And man, I would like my cut. No, you make pretty good. We'll give you $20 an hour. Finally was like, listen, I would like to get 5% of what you earn. Not even, I'm not asking you for 5% of what you make before you pay your bills. Saying once you earn everything, if I get 5% as the person that has brung this recipe and this particular chili relleno to you. They said, no. They said, go fuck yourself. We'll figure it out. He left, went to Toya. So anyway, I was going there to Toya to get and talk to this old man, this old Mexican man. He was the shit, man. Talk about all this cultural appropriations and nonsense. It's been so long since I was on the road. And it seems like a cliche because you hear it every time someone goes on the road in the United States. I was just watching some kind of show with that big old faggot from United Kingdom, that big old dude, Stephen Fry. And he was like talking about how down to earth and how the people were and stuff. I don't think they've changed. The image that the image, I don't want to say people, the image that is being presented to you right now is a lie. Nothing true in it. Looking at Trump deal with these people, just got put it out on the White House thing. I tweeted it out. He did it again. He taped his dealings with these folks. What are they going to say again? He's an idiot? He's a moron? He's a fool? You can see there for yourself that he's none of those things. He's a very good negotiator. He's there putting his 2 cents in everything. He knows about all this shit. He just had like a paper in front of him. Get all these fucking people in the room. I'm telling you what, I don't care who you are, what you think you are. When I seen all those people in that room, and I watched all 3 hours of it today, listened to majority of it, to be honest, but I heard the audio of almost all of it. There was no denying that there was a mastery that he had, and he knew everyone in the room by name. Now that's probably what he had in front of him, was a diagram of the room with everyone. I'm thinking, but I'm just putting it in perspective. What I would definitely need is a diagram of the room in front of me with everyone's name there, numbered out where they were at, and a small, even if it was 3 or 4 words, reminding me the main thing I wanted to remember from the freaking 7-page briefing I read on him. And you look at all these people. I mean, every day when someone at this level is dealing with a room full of, why do you think these motherfuckers go gray? Have you ever tried to read a psychology book? I have, lots of them. Have you ever tried to read a law book? Have you ever tried to read a philosophy book? I have. It's not. It takes energy to simply stay awake, to just stay awake. I don't even know how else to say it. And here he is, babe, knows all by name, knows what to just go watch it. He's putting it right out there for everyone. That's what I think is great. Oh, this guy's unfit to serve. He's showing you. You don't think I'm fit to serve? Here. He's taped 2 sessions, 2 deal sessions now. They were talking about steel. Boom, bam. Somebody brought up something, and he looked right and was like, oh, that's an easy one, man. You got to get a hold of me. Then somebody else said something, and boom, bam. Trump was right on all the... I'm sorry, folks. I don't want to be a bootlicker. I'm not going to be a throne sniffer. I'm not going to be a pundit. But I wore it all today because, man, the guy has got it. He's got it. Been in school boards, church boards. I've been on different panels, and I've seen leaders. Mark Finley. Man, I could name some names. David Asherick. Man, I could name some other names. Wouldn't hurt me. Scott Moore, Matt Parra. These are all people in a particular leadership in a church, in a large church, one of the richest ones on earth. I know them all. I've been in meetings with them. I've seen how they operate, seen how the upper echelons of things operate. And yeah, I'm saying it's big church. Well, right, but it's church. I'm not going to try to overblow it. But when you see someone work that knows how to do it, you can see it in someone else and recognize that thing once again shown out to you. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing someone, Mark Finley, look him up, Mark Finley. And that dude, I worked on Net 08 with him in Orlando, Florida. Was one of his Bible workers. That guy was unreal. And yes, he came in like every other pastor and did a prayer before we started. And he kept everything Christ-centric, church-centric. But it was still down to leadership. I mean, the guy was second to none. James Mattis. Oh, my goodness. When you see that man operating, he is another one that he exudes. Not only should I be a leader, I understand what leadership is. I know what it means to be a leader, what it should mean to be a leader, and how to see that in other people, assign them in their proper place, and teach them to see that in other folks and do the same. And I just seen this lady, the infrastructure minister of whatever, the minister of infrastructure, whatever they call her, the secretary, of course, but something. She's an Asian lady, and you can hear she's worked hard on her accent, but it's not her. English is not her first language, is my guess. Worked hard on her accent. Big smile. And I found out that Trump has more women than Obama did. Obama had a lot of black folks. Man, when you look at what's going on now. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk about this for a minute, see what y'all think about this. Obama's in trouble because it came out with this Susan Rice thing. Look, man, you can't call, if you're the outgoing president, it's not just uncouth. It's not just not done or considered bad form. It's not only something that one doesn't do or a matter of respect from one outgoing president to another. It is against the law to call people together. James Comey, Clapper, call these people together in your office at noon on Inauguration Day and say, you folks, I don't know if we should let Trump have all access to all of the sensitive information based on his Russia ties. Why would she say that? They don't want him to have access to information because and I'm not sure he's had it all and I think he's had a lot of it, because if they damn well got right down to it and he had it all, they'd know that they were all saying he sucks. We don't like him. Go Hillary, go team, go Democrats, rah, rah, rah. One way that I say to myself, which way should I go, is I try to see what the press is saying, including Fox. I almost always do the opposite. And I say almost always because when I watch Fox, I don't usually do the opposite. Sometimes I do. I still watch them with a very jaundiced eye. I still keep my weather eye on Fox News. I do not trust them as far as I can pick up mine own self sitting in mine chair and hurl mine ass through yon wall. I don't trust them. I don't believe that they have any kind of best interest out for your beloved ogre. No. Look, Obama called a bunch of people in his office at noon on Inauguration Day and told Comey, told a few others, I don't want Comey before he left, as he was fired as he should have been, just like Maxine Waters agrees, just said Hillary should have been the one to do it. Everyone agrees he should have been fired. They just don't think he should have been fired by Trump. So Comey's fired. He probably thought, well, I was going to follow my sword because Hillary was probably going to fire me or at least berate me. Something bad was going to happen. But now Trump's in, so I'm going to be able to look like I was on his side. Trump says, you fired. Trump leaks. Excuse me. Comey, and he probably does too. I don't know. Trump. And by Trump, I mean he has people that leaks. I'm sure he knows about some of them, though. I'm sure. So Comey leaks, says under oath that he knew that his leakage, his seepage, his degenerate backstabbing et tu brute style, no character, no kind of integrity, leaked because he knew it would start up the Mueller, which, you think it could have been Goldfarb. Or these people are all in cahoots, man. Wouldn't have mattered. Look at this Page thing with Strzok. And Strzok is the one that interviewed Clinton. This, when you look at it, it all comes around. It's circular. It's beyond. It's one giant circular jerkular. You got to be kidding me. Has anyone else been paying attention to this shit? Press 1 if I'm just speaking into the fucking ether while y'all are in the bar having a beer. Anybody else been paying attention to this fucking shit? What they're doing with the blanket, the thing that they're pulling the blanket out from underneath. Is anybody else aware of the wool that they try to pull over the eyes? And if you are, just like I said, you hit the 1. If not, I don't know. Don't press nothing because you ain't paying attention. I can't believe it. All the stuff they said Trump would do. Well, because the whole zinger, well, because you'd be in jail. That was a zinger. And he was saying you'd be in jail if he was president, if you'd have pulled that shit. And his administration, if you think about the context, she was like, glad you're president. Yeah, because you'd be in jail. If he was the president, while she was pulling the Benghazi shit and all that stuff was going down with the emails he's saying, you would have been investigated. It wouldn't have been called off. They're bum rushing him over this. Oh, what's his name now? Oh, son of a bitch. I just slipped my mind because I got a couple things I really do want to talk about. This guy that just put his thing in. Yeah. Nobody cares, MC. Nobody cares, MC, JK. Only one person. Skyhawk gives a fuck. That's it. Nobody else gives a shit. Nobody else fucking cares. Yeah, well, I do. So that's the end of it. I beyond care. I've been paying attention to this, and you have to be blind not to see what's happening. Every last accusation leveled at Donald Trump. That's what it seems to be. They've been planning from before they've even accused him of it, because now they don't have the power where they can continue to cover it up. Obama stinks like 3-day-old fish. Should be thrown out just like guests and 3-day-old fish. Rotting. Gone. And beyond gone. I mean, now don't get me wrong. If Hillary was found guilty of murdering Seth Rich with her own hands, putting Vince Foster in his grave, and burying untold others with her own hands, now the really good thing to do would be to pardon her. If I was Trump, I honestly don't care. And I don't care if the pardon entailed you have to stay in Chappaqua and your fancy schmancy compound there, unless you're escorted by these two Secret Service guys. Oh, and the cost, well, it costs a lot to put her in prison too, because you'd have to have all kinds of extra stuff there because she is was first lady. And you can't, here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't matter if you're talking about Mrs. Ford, who was drunk, so drunk out of her mind, she was like having the service staff pulled the train on her in wild sex orgies in the Oval Office. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she was drinking vodka straight out of the dag. It doesn't matter. Really don't matter. You can't imprison the first lady or ex-first lady. You can't imprison. Like, same with Obama. Look, folks, I'm going to break it to you the hard way. Stuff that most people would be executed for. Oh, man. You know, and it's hard for me to say this. I might have to think about this. If y'all are listening again, tell me what you think about it. I really believe that once it wouldn't matter. The Nuremberg trials, they shouldn't have happened. Those men should have had consequences, yes. But the whole hanging, when they hung, I will never forget when they hung Saddam Hussein. Saddam did not go out like a sissy. There ain't no way. He went out telling them all that it was his country and that what they were doing was illegal as fuck. That's what he did. And I look up to Saddam Hussein, not for other reasons. Probably MCJK is thinking right now, because he probably, man, I can imagine he's just shitting himself when I said that. But because he went out with dignity, he went out, he never, I believe that he didn't have weapons of mass destruction. I believe he was set up, because if not, I don't think there would have been any way he could have went to his death like that. And if he did, even more power to him on that. And look, I got to get up and nature calls. I'll be right back. I'm going to switch this microphone over. Enjoy this tune from Pogo.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first. America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first. America first. Non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead it by an A. Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
Hey, that was great, huh? How I left you just looking at some of my files. Hey, look at these files for a while, man. Oh, that was wonderful. I don't even know what to say about that. So I tried. I mean, I just, and that was Pogo. That was Pogo, ladies and gentlemen. Pogo. So it's 3:26. Apparently, oh, bye, binary. I guess he took off. I just coming back myself. Chemical weapons were found and no one cares. There was no, yeah, and Jimmy cracked corn and no one cares, MC. There were no chemical weapons found. I think that MCJK has George W. Bush tattooed across his sphincter. Right across his very anus. It says George W. Bush for president. And that's fine. But, you know, I'm not into that kind of, you know, blind worship of some kind of monarch. I don't really buy into that myself. You know what I mean? There, MCJK don't buy into that, man. I don't go for that. But I don't go for that. No, no can do. No can do. Yeah, well, anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah. You know, deep down inside, I don't give a shit about anything further than if I stuck a pen in a map, could go 10 miles out from that pen and draw a circle around. Don't care about anything outside of that circle. If everything stayed just like it is now, and that's a lot. It's a lot of things change outside the circle. I know. I'm just talking about my euphoria, my utopia. If nothing changed at 10 miles, everything else go to hell. And I wouldn't care. I wouldn't notice the difference. You know, that's why it's important to me to get these vegetables in the ground. That's why it's important to me that a lot of the herbs that you see me enjoy were grown by the sun, and more will be grown by the sun this year. And I don't, you know, it's all just a gift. You know, minus the care that I give it. That's not a gift. I have to do that. Oh, I've seen this. I heard this joke, man, where this dude, he got a piece of bottom land down by Old River, and it started a little creek back again, and you know, it was all tore up, those scrub brush, just all to hell. And he started cleaning it, cleared up the brush, took out some stones, and used a lot of the stones to build a nice house. Dug a deep well, lined it with stones, went way down below the creek, and had a lot of fresh water right there. Got some sheep going, built some fences, turned it into a wonderful little area. They even cultivated some area and got some sod going and a nice garden. Had all nice. And he was at church one day, and the reverend, you know, he's seen that he was at church. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Johnson, how you doing?" He's like, "Good to see you, Reverend Snucklebuck." Yeah, how you doing? He's like, "Ah, good to see you, Mr. Johnson. How's that little piece you got going out there?" So you come out and see it, Mr. Reverend Snucklebuck, and see what you think about it. So Reverend Snucklebuck, after the service, went out to see, and you know, said, "Oh, look at this pathway, Mr. Johnson. Oh, the Lord really bless you. And look at this garden. Lord really did wonders here with this place. And man, look at this house built of stone, old flat bottom river stone. God give you the strength to do it. Oh my goodness. The Lord really did this wonderful work. And oh man, look at this. This yard is second to none. And you even have a flock of sheep and some grazing sod that you've got built up. The Lord really worked." And finally, Mr. Johnson listened to all this and is getting out in face. He said, you know what, Reverend Snucklebuck, you should have been here when the Lord was doing it all by himself. Yeah. Well, the Lord gives us strength to do all kinds of things. But what about the Buddhists? Lord gives them strength too, right? Or Buddha or something. You get strength. Some folk believe in nothing. I think that there's an all-powerful something that gives even those folk a measure of something or other. But yeah, anyway, that's funny, huh? That's good stuff. Good times, wonderful times. I don't know. I was thinking that I'm going to probably wrap it up with an idea here. Tell y'all what I think about something. And I'm going to do that about 20 minutes because I don't know if Common Sense Guy, I'm not sure what's going on, but I do need to find out. I need to see if I need to find out. Need to do my diligence, make sure that I'm not skipping town or stepping out or not available when I should be. Well, anyway, let's look at this though before I do much else. Let me see. So apparently, who knows who Shaun White is? Shaun White is a snowboarder. And so I guess he's got some, he won the medal again, but there was a girl that worked with him for 7 years in a band he was in and said that she was forced, sexually harassed her, and she was forced to work. And I can't help but laugh because look, if you're really being sexually harassed, you ain't going no 7 years. If it's that much of an authoritarian thing, look, I've had to work for people a long time ago. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I do everything I can do to maintain being my own employer. I suggest it. We had an article from The Onion that said, look, the best advice for health is to stand up. Is when you're at work, stand up at your desk, turn around, walk out of the office, and never come back. The 3-part plan for good health. Stand up at your desk, 1, walk out of the office, 2, never come back, 3. I suggest to anyone that has some kind of cubicle job, or if you're like MCJK and you're tied down to some kind of spokesman, you have to be an apologist for murderers. And I think that's why MCJK is such a good debater, is because I think often in his life, if not his entire career, has been making a case for the devil, for the worst kind of absolute horrific, murderous kind of organizations that you can imagine. And having to say that even though this is horrific and murderous and this is bad, really bad, it does this good, and trying to focus on what the good is and ignoring any of the bad. I appreciate that. I do. What's up, Zero Cool? What up, man? Ain't Jack, I tell you, man. Tell him ain't Jack. I mean, yeah. And there comes a time when we have to be more than just oil, more than all that. More than I love my country. Now, and say what do you love about it? What do you love about it? I like Donald Trump, but I don't like the Republican Party. They're a load of freaking just war hawk sons of bitches, always wanting to go to war, ain't got nobody in war. And Trump, he's there too, really. That's the most GOP part of him. He could have went, his shit hurt him then, his knee or whatever, knee or his foot or something hurt him then. But he could play football and stuff. He was great at football, apparently, and really good in school. He was intelligent. He could have went to West Point or something, man. I don't know why he didn't do that. He could have still done all the shit he did if he would just put his time in. Then he could show his West Point ring right now. Be like, yeah, I know the bugle notes, fucker. What's the cow? She walks, she talks, she's full of chalk. The lactal extract, once extracted from the bovine, is highly prolific to the nth degree. I messed up the beginning of that. See, I get my ass kicked. That's how it is there. West Point, man. West Point's the shit. Naval Academy, yeah. And what did you say, MC? Don't bullshit. Did you? Oh, Magic Bollocks. Yeah, and look, Bollocks. Apparently, are we going to do a show tonight, Bollocks? Are we doing a show? Because this for Common Sense was by earlier. I thought we were doing a show. Yes, I'm doing a solo show right now, though. It's almost over. But if we're doing a show, I will definitely be there because you know why, Bollocks? I love you. I love you. On this Valentine's Day. I love you. This is my dad's birthday. You know, he's passed away now. I have a biological father that I knew. I knew him, and he was around. He was a lot of fun when he was around too. It was a good time. He was a great guy. Loved him. And then my father raised my stepdad. But my biological father, Dean Irvin, man, I tell you. And today was his birthday. So where it's Valentine's Day to most people, to me, it's Dad's birthday. It was that time that, man, it was something else. I tell you. Dad was something else. He was crazy. He could shoot basketball like nobody's business. So, oh, you love you too. So what are we doing? Oh, yes, we're doing it. We're doing it tonight. So I'm not confused. Magic Bollocks, press 1 if we're doing something tonight, even if it's for an hour. And whose freaking channel is it on? 1 for my channel, 2 for yours, 3 for Common Sense. What the hell? I don't even know what's going on. What do I got to do? I got to get on Discord. I have to get on Discord over here. I got to be careful of this too. I just opened it up. Never know what you'll get on this Discord. You just open this shit up. Oh man, look, I'm telling you, there's all kinds of stuff here, and I don't know. I can't really show this. Hang on. This is my personal communique. Oh yeah, it's very, so what are we doing? Just tell me I'm on now. I am actually on. Because, man, it's been a big day. I've got some things to do, but I can do it tonight. I can plant seeds tonight. So, yes, where are we on your channel and Bollocks News Network? And if so, just tell me in the motherfucking what you call it. Let's see, we got 1. Comments, this guy's 1. Yes, we're doing it. And 2. So, okay, we're doing it and on Magic Bollocks' channel. Yeah, I knew that. And as I said, I got to wrap this up, folks, because I only got 20 minutes before that show. So, oh man, this was great. Remember, Shaun White shouldn't be debunked or defunct because there's nothing wrong with the kid. This chick, she didn't have to hang out. It's the way it goes. You can't believe everything you read. President Trump rocks. Watch the latest bullshit session. What do they call it? Negotiation that he just did. You know, he knows what he's doing. Easy to call the man crazy for these lefties, but they don't want to be in a room with him and try to debate him like that, or even, I don't even want to call it debate. Just be there with it. He knows this shit. You know, the guy's great for a reason. He's the president for a reason. Because we voted for him, yes. But it's more than that. And I ain't going manifest destiny, all this shit. I'm saying it's more than that. The right person at the right time with the right skill set usually finds the job, and the people usually see that. That they leave a lot of the bullshit behind about, identity politics. And, they'll tell you one thing. This goes for black people, Latino. This goes for all kinds of people, not just white people. Tell you all kinds of stuff, but in the end, when they're in that booth, when they're there, them and them, pen in hand, ready to make that decision and put the all-important leader of the free world in the Oval Office, something happens. Something happens. It's an awesome power. It should only be held by someone of integrity, and Barack Obama has been weighed in the balance and found wanting. Barack Hussein Obama has abused the power of the executive branch of office to the most horrible degree. And I believe it will come out. And no, I don't think he should go to jail. I believe he should be pardoned by President Trump. But it should come out what Susan Rice and this pack of insane, treasonous mongrels have done. You cannot have a cabal that gets together at noon on Inauguration Day and says, listen, we cannot trust the incoming president. Therefore, Comey, would you commit to not sharing sensitive information with the incoming? Yes. Why, yes. Yes. Clapper. Yes. Why, yes. Why do you think they're all against him now? Why do you think the wagons draw in a circle now? Can you feel the momentum? Come on, Brits. Can you feel the momentum? Can you see the Trump train is pulling out the station? And you got two choices. Get on board or get run over. You can feel it now. You can see the shift. We need to get Rees-Mogg at the head of the Brexit. We need to get him on there. We need to do whatever we can do, my brother Brits, to get him where he belongs, steering the beloved empire of Britannia in the proper direction to ensure a great, strong Britain for generations to come. And if you love Britannia, if you love America, if you don't hold fast to some tribal instinct or dogma, if you want your beloved country to continue to be your country, and I do not mean white, I mean brown, red, yellow, I want to eat chutney while I enjoy a pizza. I want to enjoy a kebab. I want the wonderful melting pot of culture that we have in the West, but I want it as it has been. You become Western. We absorb you. If you wanted to absorb us, you would entice us to your land. You would increase the flow of us to where you are. You would be eating hamburgers and hot dogs, spotted dick and beef Wellington. So yes, all this aside, look, listen, what does this matter? Doesn't it even matter? Who fucking cares, right? It's politics. Oh, the ogre's lost his bloody bleeding mind. Lost his mind. Talking about politics yet again. And it doesn't matter. A wonderful day out in the woods today. That kind of mattered a little bit. But none of this shit. Rees-Mogg, Trump, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Susan Rice, Carter Page, this fucking matters. Wife abusers in the West Wing, none of it matters. You know what really matters, folks? If you none of this, it doesn't. I don't care if you've not heard anything else tonight. Remember this one thing, folks. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewer. My co-host, I'll see you in a couple minutes. At a time you think not. Your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, your cause, your president himself will depart from you.